Former Calgary Stampeder Maurice Price was a big play receiver when he was with the Calgary Stampeders. 12 touchdowns and 26 starts for the Stamps.
What's up, y'all? What's up, family?
And the last time these two teams played, the best receiver on the field was Eric Rogers for Calgary. Over 100 yards receiving on 6 catches and a touchdown in the loss in Ottawa.
John Hufnagel Stampeders 8-0 coming off a bye as they come off a break to get back into the swing of things, and also looking for a 5th consecutive home win. Rick Campbell's Red Blacks have won 2 straight, 2 more than all of last year, including that breakout overtime victory against the Stampeders. Tim Brown's back. Chris Milo's got it on the tee, and we're set for the second half of our doubleheader. These two teams trying to keep pace in the race for first in their respective divisions. Milo kicking it. Brown going to return it. Out across the 30, Bo Levi Mitchell coming off 2 consecutive 300-yard passing games, leads up the Calgary Stampeders out.
Yeah, getting back into that groove, and even though he started slow to the season, he's still 19-4 as the starter in Calgary, 11-2 here in McMahon Stadium. There's Eric Rogers, his #1 target. He's tied for first in the CFL with 5 touchdown catches. Now we'll see Matt Walter at running back and Torrey Harrison. I'm interested to see Harrison, what he can do.
Mitchell coming off 329 passing yards, a direct snap to Matt Walter, the University of Calgary product. Upended before he gets to the 35, so a pickup of 3.
A couple sacks for Aston Whiteside at defensive end, plus a key fumble, forced fumble in overtime. Damaso Munoz leads the team in tackles. And Javon Johnson is back making plays. He went 3 years with just 1 interception a year. He's got 2 already this season.
Stingy defense, #3 in the league in yards surrendered. Pressure on a crosser. And the pass is caught by Jeff Fuller, who had just 1 catch in the first meeting. That'll be stopped short of a first down by Brandon McDonald. It's a 2-and-out to start for the Stampeders.
Yeah, this Ottawa defense has really stepped up versus Calgary. Back a couple of weeks ago, they held the Calgary offense to just 7 points in the second half.
So Rob Maver, 3rd in the league in punting average, 47.5 yards. Kicking to McDonald, awaiting at the 35. Wind shouldn't be a factor here tonight. Good punt. 48-yard punt. And the former Stampeder, McDonald, brings it back 10 to the 35. And so the former Stampeder, Henry Burris, who finally beat his old team. First time he has done that since being traded from Calgary.
Well, there's 8 former Calgary Stampeders playing for Ottawa right now. Maurice Price, he's one of them. We've already mentioned him. Brad Sinopoli is really coming into his own as a receiver. How about the game for Greg Ellingson? Not a former Stamp, but a big game against Montreal last week.
Season high 389 passing yards for Burris in the first meeting. Steps back and throws, and that ball complete up at midfield. And there's Brad Sinopoli with a catch into Stampeder territory.
Sinopoli sticks with this because Juwan Simpson drops underneath this and almost has a shot at the interception. Doesn't get it. It goes through his hands, and Sinopoli maintained his focus for a 26-yard gain.
There it is, off the fingertips. And into Sinopoli's hands for a 26-yarder. He had 2 catches the first meeting. Both came in the opening quarter. Short gain there is Quinn Smith with the tackle.
Well, we can pretty much put number 39's picture up for a guy to watch every game because that's how he plays. 6 quarterback sacks. That's tied for first in the Canadian Football League with Charleston Hughes. He gets Micah Johnson back. Johnson hasn't played in the interior of the D-line for about a year. Joe Burnett takes Buddy Jackson's spot at the corner.
Just a yard for Shabbat Walker, so it's 2nd and long. 4 receivers near side. Burris under duress, and down he goes. It'll be Junior Turner with the sack.
Junior Turner remained part of that rotation in the interior of the D-line. 11 tackles coming in for Turner. Now he's going to have to share that time a little bit with Micah Johnson tonight. But that often pushes a player. When a returning starter comes back, the guy that's replaced him wants to step it up to stay on the roster.
Chris Milo handling the... Or check that, that was Thomas DeMarco handling the punt. So the number 2 quarterback goes, and Tim Brown with a good return up over the 30-yard line. Jordan Bordone with the special teams tackle. So Bo Levi Mitchell, who is starting to heat up, gets set to go back to work as he leads the Stampeders offense when we return.
For a little revenge in this game after the loss in Ottawa. Ettore Latanzio on the kickoff cover team. Glenn shows him a little love coming across and putting a pretty good hit on him.
Here's Bo Levi Mitchell on a roll. Swings it out to the far side, pulled down by Jeff Fuller. Mentioned Fuller had just 1 catch in the first meeting. He was targeted in that game 9 times, and a lot of drops. They're trying to get him back into the swing of things.
Well, what he does nicely here is to come back to the football all the way back. Even if it loses some yards, you got to come back when you're covered closely, and he is by Brandon McDonald up there. Keeps stepping back and comes back to that throw.
So 2 catches, targeted twice after that off game, and Bo Levi Mitchell even mentioned it after the game. He could tell it just wasn't going to be Fuller's night. So 2nd and 3, they're going to pass to Walter out of the backfield. And a quick close by Damaso Munoz. And that will set up 3rd down.
This linebacking core in Ottawa all of a sudden looks pretty good. You take Damaso Munoz, he leads them with tackles 22. There's his 23rd on the season, and a good one in the open field. But Malik Jackson, Antoine Pruneau having a great 2nd year. That's a good core.
Travis Brown getting set to return. Maver boots. And a fumble. McDonald coughs it up. Ball still loose. And the Stampeders are on it. Calgary comes up with the football, and it's the long snapper with the old vet, Randy Chevrier, comes up with the ball.
Love you, Mom. Love you, Dad.
There's the 13-year veteran out of McGill with a fumble recovery here in the first quarter.
Yeah, mistake by Brandon McDonald here. Doesn't cover both points of the ball. He's got the top covered, but not the bottom. That bottom has got to be right in the corner of his arm right there. It's not. It's coming out the bottom of the bucket, and he's about to get hit. Tries to move the football in his arms, and it pops out on its own.
REDBLACKS have been playing with fire. 12th fumble, just the 3rd one they've lost. Crosser, Mark Redmond for Anthony Parker with it. And Parker down to the 11-yard line. 26 yards for Anthony Parker.
Eric Rogers is going to get the assist here. Usually you see the crossing route from the top guy, but this is going to be the crossing route for Parker right here. He comes underneath the route from Eric Rogers. And underneath that, see number 80 crossover, he causes the problem in coverage. And Anthony Parker gets a big gainer.
Initial first down for Calgary, first trip to the red zone. And Bo Levi Mitchell, keeper, touchdown.
Gotta make a team pay for the sudden change. When you turn it over, pedal to the metal, put it in the end zone. Bo Levi Mitchell talked this week about getting that first hit early, out of the way, and that he wanted to take off and run a little bit more early in the game so they can get off to a good start and he can get that first hit under his belt. And he didn't hesitate here. He saw the hole, stepped up in it, and gets there.
Well, starts have been an issue here. Down 17-0 against Montreal early, 16-0 against Winnipeg. Rebounded to win both those games, but a focus on a better start, and they look for two, and they get it, but there is a flag down. That's Torrey Harrison, the running back. Let's find out what the flag's all about.
Right, Calgary's leaving the field. Looks like it's going to go against Ottawa.
Offside. Ottawa, number 91. A 5-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. The convert is good.
Aston Whiteside was offside, and now Calgary 7 for 7 in 2-point converts this year. So it only took a couple of plays after the fumble, and pulled by Mitchell Jackson with an 11-yard touchdown run.
Two off the edge, one crash, one went high, so I just dipped inside of him. As soon as I did, I just saw the green grass. I said, fuck it.
See, there's how it happened. First touchdown run of the year, and all he saw was green grass.
I see a color man in his future. Boy, it's great to see when the veteran of the group, Randy Chevrier, 39 years old, who's just been a great warrior for this team, gets that big play, and he gets to talk about it on the sideline, congratulated by all the veterans. Bo went over there right away to congratulate him on the fumble recovery, and they turned it into a touchdown.
When we say graybeard, we're not exaggerating.
No. Good guy in the room, boy. He's one of those, he's the glue, one of those guys.
Big kickoff, and let's see if Ottawa can rebound off that early turnover. Walker doesn't reach the 20 on the return, so a long field for Henry Burris and company.
Yeah, that first drive after a turnover and the team turns it into a touchdown. That first drive now is so important for Henry Burris, not necessarily even to match the points, just to get a couple first downs, try to take away the momentum. Seen games get away quickly like the one before us.
Mentioned 389 passing yards against Calgary. In his last game, Burris set an Ottawa record with 32 completions. Trying to get the run game established, but nothing doing.
Another big play by Junior Turner. I know Charleston Hughes, I think, is going to get credit for the tackle, but Junior Turner forces Walker to go laterally rather than downfield. He's just hustling to the football right across the formation. Eliminates that one hole.
So 2nd and 14. Here comes the rush to Dodd. Look out! Keon Raymond let the nail. There is a flag. And it looks like a late hit on Burris. Yeah, we'll keep the offense out on the field.
Yeah, Micah Johnson, you know, he wants to get that first hit in, but almost a year due to injury.
Roughing the passer. Calgary number 93. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Stampeders with the fewest penalty yards in the league, but they take 15 here.
Yeah, he dying to get back in the game, and you know he's excited to be back out there. He went low.
Coming back off 2 consecutive ACL injuries. First down up at the 30. Burris stands in, fires, and it's complete. There's Sinopoli again in front of Jamar Wall. A first down catch and 16 yards up at the 46.
Boy, he is really coming into his own as a receiver. Remember, former quarterback, former Calgary Stampeder, said it might be strange to go into the visitors' locker room, but ranked 6th in receivers in yak yards. Not just catching and going down either.
And the leader in receptions for Ottawa with 30. First down, play action fake to Walker. And it's Jeremiah Johnson with it, taken down by the middle linebacker, Jawan Simpson. But that's another Ottawa first down back into Stampeder territory.
Well, and what a difference in field position after the Micah Johnson penalty. That Calgary defense was off the field, and now, as I mentioned, after that sudden change, turnover, and a touchdown, Ottawa has taken some momentum back to keep this drive alive.
REDBLACKS 8th in first quarter points with 15. Scored their first quarter touchdown late in the first quarter in that game against Calgary. Walker steps out, unable to turn the corner again. Chased down by Duron Mayo.
It's been a while since Henry Burris was a Calgary Stampeder now. His career has taken him in a couple different paths, but he accomplished a lot as a leader here in Calgary. Grey Cup champion in 2008, MVP in 2010.
Came into the week third in passing yardage with 1695. 5 touchdown passes in the last 2 games. Second down, throw, what a catch! Greg Ellingson, who was the favorite target in their last game. 8 catches, 110 against Montreal, and this is highlight reel material.
Yeah, start the recorder, Sports Center. Here it comes. One-hander from Greg Ellingson. That is just pretty.
So again, without Chris Williams for the 2nd straight week, and Ellingson helping fill the void. 34 yards and a first down into the red zone. Little play action fake into the end zone. Incomplete. The intended for Ernest Jackson. And Joe Burnett on the corner in coverage.
Well, that's the 2nd time in a row Juwan Simpson's been underneath the throw and real close to it, but this is just worth another look. Ellingson over the middle, tight spiral, and he just one-hands her. Nice.
1v1 material. Last pass, the first incompletion of the game for either quarterback. 2nd and 10, just inside the Calgary 15. Here comes the heat, and Burris slipped, and he is down by Keon Raymond. The veteran off the edge to make sure Burris wasn't going anywhere in his 100th game start. Raymond will get credit for the sack.
Full-out blitz from Calgary. You often see it down this part of the field. Juwan Simpson from the middle's coming. Keon Raymond just out of your screen. He'll show up. There he is. And he gets there first when Burris slipped.
Here's Chris Milo. Hit his first one last week as an Ottawa Red Black, and has one here to get the Red Blacks on the board. Under 4.5 minutes remaining here in the opening quarter. But thanks to that highlight reel catch by Greg Ellingson, Ottawa into field goal position. It's 8-3 Stampeders.
Our team. And we need every individual, give us your best tonight for the Ottawa Red Blacks. Give us your best. Okay? It's got to be smart football, and we know it's got to be with an edge. Okay? It's going to come down to playmaking and one-on-one matchups that we got to win on offense, defense, and special teams. It's going to be a fight. We might as well throw the first blow. Let's go.
In his 2nd year as head coach of the Red Blacks, his father, the legend, watching upstairs along with his mother, Louise, up from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, to watch here tonight.
After that great start, 4-2, doubled their win totals from a year ago, and are 2-2 versus the Western Division. So we're seeing a real turnaround in the East this year.
Here again, Tim Brown, who's looked dangerous in recent weeks. 30-yard return up to the 40-yard line.
It'd be nice for Rick to be able to lean on his dad every now and then with a phone call. And
of course, mentored as well by John Hufnagel.
Yeah.
There are 2 of the best head coaches in Canadian Football League history. Comparing notes on maybe what the best fishing hole is around here.
I was gonna say, it looked like a fly fishing conversation.
Stamps start this possession at the 40. Good counterplay, and it's Matt Walter, brought down by Moulton Hopkins after a 6-yard pickup.
Versus Ottawa, Walter had 4 carries. That was the game that John Cornish went down with the hand injury, the thumb injury, and Walter with 4 carries. Cornish will be out for some time. You see that right hand all casted up.
In that game, a season low 32 yards rushing for the Stampeders. 2nd and 4. Mitchell going to pass to the wide side. Fuller's got another catch and makes the first man miss. He'll get picked up by Javon Johnson. Number 3 has his 3rd catch of the evening.
Well, the key is that Bo Levi Mitchell gets him the ball on time so that Fuller can turn around and make a guy miss. I mean, this is, if that throw is too late, he gets hit in the back by Jarrell Gavins. If the throw's on time, he gets a chance to turn, make a move, and get some yak yards.
Of course, Fuller had the monster game in the opener. There's Walter again, and he gets leveled. Malik Jackson, another one of the former Stampeders, playing middle linebacker with Ottawa. And he brings down Matt Walter for no gain.
Yeah, I like this linebacking core all of a sudden. You got Malik Jackson, Tomaso Munoz, and then Antoine Pruneau, who has started season 2 for him in the CFL. Better pace than he had last year, and he had a great season in his rookie year out of Montreal. 1st round pick.
2nd and 10. Pressure on. Ball throwing. Up for grabs. Incomplete. Javon Johnson in coverage against Joe West with the breakout.
Mentioned he's starting to make plays. Leads the team in knockdowns and has a couple of picks. He went 3 straight years with 1 interception per year. That was heading into last season. And the guy who has 26 career picks, you expect to make the big play and to be in coverage. Well, he's got 2 out of the gate in 6 games. He's got the knockdowns. Javon Johnson is back.
Getting a challenge here on the last play.
Is appealing the play. They believe defensive pass interference was there. Play will be reviewed.
It's under appeal. Challenge from John Hufnagel. Straight corner route here, and I looked to me live that the coverage was pretty good by Javon Johnson. You see as he does that blind speed turn. Yeah, I think he's just jumping up to play the football. Hufnagel saw the left hand on the shoulder pads.
And with West falling back, there might have been the illusion that he was pulled back, but it doesn't look like that on replay, does it?
After
No, I
review,
don't think
the
so.
ruling on the field stands. It was an incomplete pass. 3rd down.
I have one small suggestion for the rules committee heading into the offseason. That when you challenge defensive pass interference, when a coach can challenge it, it's more punitive if you lose. If you lose the challenge, there's got to be a bigger penalty. So
Maybe 5 yards?
well, I don't know what the answer to it is, but there's got to be a bigger penalty if you lose your challenge.
Line drive punt by Maver, and McDonald will get escorted out of bounds. Let's check in with Lee Jones on the sidelines.
Well, under John Hufnagel, the Calgary Stampeders have a perfect record in games after the bye week. They're 8-0. Now, talking to Keon Raymond, I asked what's the secret to the success. He says Hufnagel and the coaching staff do a great job of making sure the players self-assess their games and return as better players. Now, Hufnagel spent a lot of time self-assessing their own game, although he did admit it, he took one day to go fly fishing on the Bow River. I asked Keon Raymond if maybe you'd ever join his coach on the Bow River doing some fly fishing, and he said, you know what? I take the bye week to get away from Huff. Chris?
Yeah. But, you know, that's one of the reasons he's been so successful, John Hufnagel as a coach, is, you know, those small things, and to tell his team every year before a bye, and they're 8-0 after byes, self-scout. Guys, go watch yourself on film. How could you be better? Be honest with yourself.
Legal man downfield, so a repunt that's going to be better field position. After a 36-yard punt, McDonald nailed as Rob Cote got down in a hurry, but better field position for Ottawa after the penalty. So 95 seconds left in the first quarter. And Henry Burris back to work. Brad Sinopoli and Greg Ellingson have been his targets so far tonight. Team fourth in yards and fourth in passing yards so far this season. And that pass incomplete. Ernest Jackson, the intended target, and again Raymond on the scene. He's just worried, but he caught the bigger fish, he'd be in trouble.
Or else he's tying the fly, and the coach would look over and say, are you going to go with orange? That's the color you're going to go with there? I don't know if that's the right. Yeah, he self-scout, take some time off, and then get back to work. That's what Keon Raymond did, and he's playing well.
2nd and 10, REDBLACKS. Down, just get it off. Pressure on, and Burris throws. And does Ernest Jackson get it? Catch is made. It's a first down for Jackson at the 38.
I'm not sure how Henry Burris knew that he was getting pressure from that backside, but he moved away from it without actually even looking at it. It was Charleston Hughes who comes around the corner and is there quickly. Burris didn't even look back to see him and just moves away from that pressure because of his pocket presence.
Good catch by Jackson, who had 7 for 81 in the first meeting against the Stampeders. Fresh set of downs. Little play action fake into the wide side of the field. Sinopoli got another catch. And Fred Bennett steps up to make sure he doesn't get any further. Time for one more play here in the opening quarter, barring a penalty.
Ernest Jackson gets an assist here. He's going to come down and allow the fake and Burris to get to the outside here on a nice little crack block.
Second and 3. Burris has time. He wants more than 3. Wants more Price, and Price.
He's going to get a penalty for signaling the flag.
See, that is the call. There are multiple flags. I'm wondering if he didn't just turn to the coach and ask for a challenge flag.
Yeah, at this point, though, as you know, Chris, it doesn't matter. I mean, if he does it on the field of play, then he's going to get the penalty flag, even if he was trying to just get Rick Campbell's attention.
Well, Rick Campbell.
After the play, we had objectionable conduct against Ottawa number 7.
There's also a challenge flag. Thought there was another penalty to sort out there for Andre Prue, but there has been a challenge from the Ottawa sidelines. But they've also called the end of the opening quarter. It's all sorted out when we come back. 8-3 Stampeders after 15 minutes here at McMahon. Check the numbers after the opening 15 minutes and a costly turnover.
Yeah, that led to a touchdown for Bo Levi Mitchell on a run after quickly taking advantage of the sudden change after the turnover. But Ottawa's drive to counter was a good one as well, finishing with the field goal.
And Burris with 110 yards passing, and now a challenge on that deep throw to Maurice Price.
Yeah, the challenge is on for defensive pass interference on Fred Bennett. So that came from Rick Campbell. We're sorting that out and have been through the break. Showing the command center down at the bottom of your screen. Contact by Fred Bennett on Maurice Price. Now, they're challenging that there should have been pass interference because he became the intended target. Because technically, where that happened and where the contact occurred was in the illegal contact department, just past the 5-yard mark, right around the 10-12-yard mark.
Price has averaged just 7.6 yards a catch this year. Always been a deep threat. And maybe a little frustration shown when he looked for the flag and was penalized.
Upon review, there is no defensive pass interference on the play. The pass was incomplete. After the play, we had objectionable conduct against Ottawa number 7. Ball will be moved back 10 yards, 3rd down. We're going to switch side.
So 2 unsuccessful challenges so far.
I know there's all kinds of discussion about what Maurice Price did by gesturing that there should have been a penalty flag and whether or not that should remain a rule in the CFL. But I've got a simple solution for that. Have a signal for your coach that isn't that.
Yeah.
Just point to the sky or put both hands to the side or something. Just your own signal on your team that you're getting the coach's attention. Don't make it that gesture.
So without Anthony Aleeks, it's Thomas DeMarco getting set to punt once again. And Tim Brown, after the 43-yard punt, brings it back across the 45. Good field position for Calgary. CFL action continues with Thursday Night Football. It's the Alouettes and the Lions kicking off at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific on TSN. Lions will be licking their wounds after what we saw earlier tonight.
Well, that's a good Hamilton football team. They score in all phases.
All phases.
Absolutely.
Again tonight.
Another return for a touchdown, defensive touchdowns. It's a good football team.
I believe that's the 7th defensive touchdown. Levi Mitchell sends it to Eric Rogers, complete in front of Abdul Kanay. And Rogers, who scorched the Red Blacks for 6 catches, 124 yards and a touchdown, has his first catch of the night. 24-yard pickup.
Tough to get safety help here when you've got these layers. There's Rogers there, and then you're going to have another layer that's going to hold the safety. So tough to cover all the way across the field.
Matt Walter unable to find a crease. Kirk Rogers, by the way, 2nd in the league in receiving yards coming into this week.
Just want to show you that one more time and how Brandon Thompson has to stay high on the 2nd post.
2nd and 9, and Mitchell taking a shot for Joe West, brought it down, and they're going to rule him down at the 1. Biggest play of the year for West, a 37-yard connection.
Goes up and gets it here. Well, Levi Mitchell giving his big target a chance to go and win the contested throw, and Joe West gets it at his high point.
And now into the end zone. It's a Calgary touchdown for Bo Levi Mitchell, his 2nd of the night.
Went with tempo there. Calgary not allowing for any substitutions defensively from Ottawa. And it was up-tempo from Dave Dickinson, the offensive coordinator. Well executed. Mitchell, and you'll see West's knee, his right knee touch right there before it crosses the plane. That's why it goes down. They get out over the ball quickly. And Bo Levi Mitchell right behind his center and just off to the left side of the formation behind Shane Bergman.
So quick strike offense, 4 plays, 63 yards. And Mitchell with a pair of touchdowns. Just waiting for confirmation that he had broken the plane. And did he get in? Looks like.
Well, the ball's under the right hand. You can see it there. And I think right about there, depending on the angle, looked like it crossed. Yeah. Now, Hufnagel decides to go for 2 after the first major is successful.
Now they send out Reddy Paredes. There's Drew Tate, who will hold, and he is playing in his 100th Canadian Football League game here tonight. Paredes splits the uprights, and it's a 12-point Stampeder lead early in the second quarter on the strength of 2 Bo Levi Mitchell touchdowns. An 11-yard touchdown run, and now a 1-yard major plunge for Bo Levi Mitchell.
Yeah, I would say that Bo's back. I mean, he started slow, and when he came into this game this week, he ranked 6th in the 9 starting quarterbacks under the quarterback efficiency rating. However, back-to-back 300-yard games, including the loss to Ottawa, 2 great passes on that drive, and then finishes it with his 2nd rushing touchdown. I think it's safe to say Bo's back.
Dave Dickinson's felt his last 3 games have been his best of the year. Thought his best was against Ottawa. The percentage wouldn't indicate that, but a lot of drops. And boy, they are playing hard downfield on the cover teams for the Calgary Stampeders. Big play by the rookie, William Langley, out of Sherbrooke.
Well, Langley this is not breaking down, good position, and exploding on the hit.
This is heat-seeking.
Wow.
Looks like this team's coming off a bye.
Yeah. Fresh legs.
Starting inside the 20. First comes that incomplete. Looking over the middle for Ernest Jackson.
A couple of times now, the linebackers for the Calgary Stampeders have been right around those crossing throws. We've seen a couple, Juwan Simpson underneath that. That time was Duron Mayo. Very close to that one. The windows are tightening for Henry Burris.
No huddle, 2nd and 10. Juwan Simpson up on the line. May have got a jump from Quinn Smith, but was he drawn as play is halted? And it looks like this will go against the Red Blacks.
John Gott.
Procedure. Ottawa, number 63, 5-yard penalty. It remains 2nd down.
One of the former Stamps, John Gott.
Yeah, I was going to say he was lined up right in front of Quinn Smith, who jumps. There's Smith there and Gott the center, and you'll see him flinch. See how he rocked back a little bit and then pulls the D-line. They go on movement.
That offensive line for Ottawa has not had to make a change so far this year because of injury. Swung out, and the ball is dropped. Incomplete, intended for Siobhan Walker on a little swing pass, and it's a 2-and-out from deep in Ottawa territory.
Yeah, the blitz was coming, and Henry Burris sort of rushed this throw because Siobhan Walker looked to me like he had room to run out there had he caught this swing pass. The linebackers were up in the line of scrimmage rushing the quarterback, and I think that's what Walker's saying. You know, I had lots of room out there. Just a high throw.
Burris hit on his first 4 attempts in this game, but just 2 of his last 7. And DeMarco stands inside his 5. And that's dropped down around the 54-yard line. Brown steps out. Great field position for the Stampeders.
Mentioned the back-to-back 300-yard passing games. He would have a much better completion percentage in the Ottawa game if not for some drops. And then Montreal 329. Now Bo Levi Mitchell is 9 of 10 tonight. Has not thrown an interception, or excuse me, 8 of 9 tonight, and has not thrown an interception in 115 attempts now, going back 3 games.
And the Stamps start at the Ottawa 46. Here comes the heat today on the blitz, trying to track him down, and Mitchell will throw that away to avoid the sack. So Mark Nelson dials up a little heat to disrupt the Calgary quarterback.
Yeah, halfback blitz from Kane, and that's, you can, if you're Bo Levi Mitchell, you're thinking I can beat this guy on that blind turn and to the sideline, but that's a DB who redirected Kane and forced Mitchell to throw it out of bounds.
See the rain falling here at McMahon, 2nd and 10. High receivers out. Walter releases, and the pass misfired, intended for Rogers. And Kane was in coverage. A 2-and-out and a much-needed stop by Ottawa.
Abdul Kane with back-to-back plays defensively. Comes on the blitz and forces Mitchell to throw it away. And then is in perfect coverage down the field.
So Rob Maver will try and
Onside.
pin the Red Blacks, or will he? They do have a couple onside here. High, short kick. It'll be fielded by the veteran Javon Johnson. And he'll scamper out at the 26. Let's check back in with Lee Jones.
Well, guys, Brad Sinockley is actually on pace for 1,000 yards receiving this year. Pretty impressive considering in university he was a quarterback. Now, working as a receiver, he went back to Ottawa, the University of Ottawa, where he played university and worked with the receivers coach, J.P. Asselin. They would go over film of him doing routes, make sure his mechanics were okay, and he felt that really helped him improve all the routes that he runs in football. In fact, Mo Price mentioned that looking at him in training camp, you can tell there's a huge improvement in the way that he's playing receiver. Chris?
Well, he's become one of the top receivers in the league. 5 for 67 last week against Montreal. Quick hitter here, and Ernest Jackson's got another catch in front of Deron Mayo.
Yeah, and good for Brad Sinopoli. I mean, first of all, that he embraced the change. That, he didn't get stubborn about wanting to play the position he played in college, or a lot of guys won't make that adjustment, and he's done that well. I mean, a guy who's tied for third right now in those second down catches in the CFL. And the list of guys he's tied with is an impressive one.
2nd and 4, look out, Deron Mayo gets home and has his first sack of the season, taking down Burris for a big loss.
Unblocked. No back in the backfield to help on this, and Deron Mayo from the bottom of your screen. You see how Junior Turner is going to take that tackle, Sir Vincent Rogers, and run him on an inside move to open up the edge for Deron Mayo.
3rd sack of the night. Stampeders came in tied for last. Just got the punt away, and it rolls for a 41-yard punt, and Tim Brown is dropped at the 48, but Rich Stubler's dialing up pressure tonight, and they've got to Burris 3 times, including that big hit from Deron Mayo. Stampeders with the lead, 15-3, and the football at their own 48. They've enjoyed great field position so far tonight. In a matchup of Bo Levi Mitchell against a good young Ottawa secondary. Matt Walter dancing across the 50-yard line, and he has 4. He said that the strength of the Ottawa defense is the young secondary, who lead the league, or at least coming into the game, with the lowest pass completion percentage. But Bo Levi Mitchell's had some success tonight.
Yeah, in the last 2 games, that secondary in Ottawa had not given up only 2 30-yard or more passes, and got Joe West behind him tonight.
2nd and 6, rush on, and they get to Mitchell and drop him back at the 45.
And Whiteside get up there again. It looked like a good push in the middle. Keith Sholigan. Interesting, Keith Sholigan against Montreal thought he had 3 sacks, and then when they reviewed it after the game was over, it was actually Whiteside who had a couple.
Interesting to see. It gets credit. Whiteside got first contact there. But by Maver, bouncing around, and it's been an adventure, and Calgary's got it. McDonald has coughed it up again. It's Stampeder football. Well, the biggest difference in this game right now is the way Brandon McDonald's handled the punt return duties.
It's an adventure. He gets the bad bounce there, but then he's batting it around, and the good hard cover team for the Calgary Stampeders is there before he gets a third crack at it.
And Adam Berger just out-muscles him for the football. And that reaction tells you everything you need to know,
and maybe McDonald's last return tonight. Javon Johnson can go back there. He's done that in his career.
Right now, McDonald's on the corner thinking,
got to make a play.
I need an interception return now.
Yeah, I got to make a play. Exactly what he's thinking.
Third trip to the red zone. Stampeders 2 for 2 on the night. Now 10 of 17. Will fake, and Mitchell going for it. Joe West, touchdown.
Wow. Ball placement on the run.
2 touchdowns off McDonald turnovers as the Stampeders open it up here.
This throw on the run by Bo Levi Mitchell, impressive. Play action fake, gets on the run. Now he just spots this ball right between coverage. And Joe West doesn't break stride.
First touchdown catch of the season for West. And Brandon McDonald's the loneliest guy at McMahon right now. Extra point has been missed. So it's 21-3, and Paredes is now 7 for 10, or 8 for 10, excuse me, on the 32-yard converts.
You get it. Love you, Mom. Love you, KJ and K.
8th touchdown pass from Bo Levi Mitchell.
Brandon McDonald was one of the former Calgary Stampeders that are in this game for Ottawa tonight. Second time he's had trouble handling. Now the D-line was congratulating each other on the stop. And they're saying, all right, guys, good stop. Whoa, wait a minute, what just happened? You're kidding. Get your helmet. We're going back. And one play later, this ball placement from Mitchell, outstanding on the run.
Interesting that Ottawa released Jock Sanders, another former Stampeder, this week because of fumble issues on the returns. And the downfield cover's been sharp tonight too. Chevy Walker hasn't been able to get on track on the kickoff returns either. So a big hole for Burris and company to try and work their way out of. Calgary touchdown drives, 2 plays, 4 plays, 1 play.
Yeah, off the turnovers for 2 of those touchdowns. And that's what good teams do.
First down at the 22. Burris in trouble. Freddie Bishop had a shot at him, and Hank able to throw that away to avoid the sack.
This Ottawa team has been better in so many ways this year than their first year last season. Mentioned 2-2 against the West. Last year they were 1-9. They're 1-1 on the road. Last year they were 0-9. Now the one hurdle they have to overcome is winning out west.
Second and 10, 4 receivers wide side. Burris can't find anybody. Mika Johnson in pursuit. Now throws downfield, incomplete. Keon Raymond on the scene again. The pass intended for Sinopoli.
Got to show you Siobhan Walker on this play. Now Burris going to get outside and run. It looks like Raymond is limping a little bit, but watch Siobhan Walker here, and he is just holding on. Here comes Juwan Simpson, the middle linebacker on the blitz. His responsibility, he's got the hand up in the chin and just kind of holding on to get his quarterback out and outside.
Brown away waiting just inside the Calgary 45. Fields it at the 42. That's a 46-yard punt by DeMarco. And not much on that return, but once again, Calgary starting around midfield.
All of a sudden, Joe West become a target for Bo Levi Mitchell. He was targeted 21 times coming in, just had the 12 catches, but a couple of big ones tonight. Of course, there's only one football, so that means the guy who was the best receiver in the loss to Ottawa a couple games ago, Eric Rogers, sees it a little bit less. Lots of weapons.
Yeah, and Markway McDaniel, who is a go-to guy, has not been targeted tonight. He's caught passes on the last 13 times he has been targeted. Rogers has a catch, close to a first down, back into red-black territory.
Touchdown in every game this year but one for Eric Rogers.
And in each of the last 4.
So pick your poison. Get Joe West going and Jeff Fuller.
Brian Moniz in to handle short yardage duties. Slides to the right side. Finds a hole. And then gets tripped up around the 35. Big gain, but there is a flag. And Moniz knows it's coming back.
Holding Calgary number 80. It will be first down. It will be first down.
And it is Eric Rogers, but after the initial first down yardage was picked up.
Yeah, I was trying to block Abdul Kanay, the halfback, and Kanay tried to spin out of it. Rogers grabbed his jersey. See, just stock blocking him there, and as he spins, he grabs the left shoulder pad, twists him to the ground right at the point of attack.
But give Moniz a 9-yard run. Ball at the Ottawa 53. Mitchell back in. And swings it to the near side. And there's McDaniel. Bumped out by McDonald. And so Markway McDaniel, 14 consecutive catches when he has been the intended target.
Yeah, I think Brandon McDonald right now is just trying to take out a little frustration on anything that's wearing a red jersey.
6-year NFLer, 80 games there. Spent some time in Calgary before being released last September. 2nd and 8. Stands in the pocket and delivers, and McDaniel has another catch. Or no, they're going to say incomplete. So the streak for McDaniel is over. And it will be 3rd down.
There's the veteran, Mr. Reliable. As you mentioned that. Markway McDaniel, the leader in the group. Eric Rogers, the big play receiver down the field throughout this season, and now we're seeing Joe West have a big first half here tonight.
And now Javon Johnson back, but Brandon McDonald still
he is,
also dropping back.
Putting him back there. Kick it to him again. That's what I do.
And here's Johnson juking his way for a few extra yards after a 45-yard punt. There is a flag. Sort out the flag. When we return, they're giving the 3-minute warning to the benches. But all Calgary so far, first half.
All right, Rod and the boys getting set for live at the half. They're going to talk about Calgary taking full advantage of Ottawa mistakes, and also further to Glenn's suggestion, what signal should a player make at the bench to get a challenge without getting a flag? These guys have some interesting ideas. Back to Chris and Glenn at McMahon.
We can only imagine what those guys are going to come up with.
Javon Johnson is the only returner now for Ottawa, and they've taken Brandon McDonald in the break. They waved him off and got him off the field, so won't be returning punts, at least up to the end of this half.
And an angled punt by Maver where McDonald was will bounce out around the 11-yard line. Let's check in with Lee Jones.
Well, Glenn mentioned that Brandon McDonald probably wants to let out some frustration against players wearing red. Well, actually, he let out some frustration on the bench, smashed his helmet on a desk, and in fact broke the helmet. He didn't realize it until he went out on a defensive series, had to rush back, try to get that helmet fixed. It wasn't fixed in time, so they gave him a spare helmet at the last moment, and he was able to just make it out there to play his corner position.
So it's not been a good night.
No, not yet. There's still time to regroup.
Walker trying to find some room off the right side to the 15.
You know, and I feel for him. I mean, if you've walked across the stripe at any level, you understand that there'll be nights like this where you have a couple of bad plays, and he had to, in the break, walk all the way over to the sideline because he got pulled off the field. He wasn't going to do the next return. His teammates are rallying around him. Now, I guarantee you, McDonald goes in at halftime. He gets himself together, settles down. I won't be surprised to see him make a big play on defense in the second half.
Right now, they need a big play on offense here in the final 2.5. Boris on second down, a flag coming, and he throws that away. Boy, there's been plenty of heat tonight from that Calgary front.
Yeah,
Holding Ottawa, number 29. Penalties decline. Third down.
Fourth consecutive 2 and out for the Red Blacks. The penalty against Chevy Walker.
Showed him hanging on when he was going one-on-one with Juwan Simpson. This time, Mayo and Simpson are up in the line again. There's Walker there. Steps up to help out on Mayo. He gets the holding call. And sending the 2 linebackers.
Marco kicking it away. Not a great punt. That'll bounce out at the Red-Black bench, and this time Calgary's going to start on the Ottawa side of the field after just a 32-yard punt.
I asked Chris Milo before the game if he was going to do any of the punting, and he said, you know, he may, but DeMarco's got a big leg. They were both warming up. And all in the first half, it's been DeMarco punting the football, Milo in the field goal. Now, it looks like he drops that real low and is trying to run as he kicks it.
It'll be a procedure call against the Stampeders. Here's where Calgary's started their drives tonight. The 47 of Calgary, Ottawa 46, Calgary 48, the Ottawa 17, Calgary's 49, the Ottawa 46-yard line. That in the second quarter.
Right, and that's field position. And most punters, and our producer, Chris Edwards, was a college punter. And he just in my ear said, take a look at his drop
Ottawa,
again.
Number 91, 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Take a look at his drop again, where he drops the football. And punters want to drop it where they let go of it just as it's hitting. He's got a lot of room there before it actually gets to his foot. Now what happens is the ball can adjust on that little drop, and then it doesn't hit your foot cleanly.
Edwards looking for a job?
Yeah. I think that ship sailed.
As it turned out, offside against Ottawa. Mitchell in some trouble, gets away, and he'll slide feet first. First down at the Red Black 30. 10-yard run for Bo Levi Mitchell. Just 28 yards rushing coming into the game. He has 22 so far tonight. Aston Whiteside misses him at the line of scrimmage. First down, quick hitter, complete. McDaniel back on the board, and another Calgary first down to the 15.
Pierre Lavertu was limping, trying to get back to the huddle. The Calgary Stampeders do not need any more O-line issues. Comes to injuries, he's gonna gut it out here.
Number 1 pick in 2014. Acquired that pick from Ottawa in a deal that involved John Gott. Here's Mitchell looking into the end zone, and Rogers slipped on the play, got in behind coverage, trying to readjust, something he does so well, but not that time.
Yeah, it was a double move, well run. I mean, Eric Rogers runs the route he wanted here. It's a double move like this, and he is wide open. The ball on the opposite shoulder that he expected it to be on. There's the out, and then up the field. Kinne's scrambling to try and recover, and just over the wrong shoulder. Bo knows it. That's the first off throw.
2nd and 10 from the 15. Back into the end zone. Jump ball incomplete. Intended for Fuller. And there's Brandon McDonald making a play.
There you go. And you know that he's going to do that. That's what good pros do. I mean, if you've walked across the stripe, you've made some mistakes, and you've had that kind of quarter or half. It's what you do after the mistakes that determines how long you play and what kind of player you become. And that's Brandon McDonald making a nice play. Great coverage. One step in the comeback.
Paredes boots the extra point through. And it's now a 21-point lead. I was just thinking back to A.J. Jefferson of the Toronto Argonauts a couple of weeks ago in Hamilton. Misplays a punt. It turns out to be an onside kick. Hamilton scores a touchdown.
Right.
You wonder if he'll ever return a kick again. Well, last night he does. 69 yards for a touchdown. So maybe Brandon McDonald can have the turnaround moment as well.
Well, and we'll see in the second half if he goes out and returns kicks again, but he's still playing defense on that corner, so has the opportunity to come back and make plays there.
Still some time for Ottawa to cut into this lead here in the first half. At the 35, they've got a ways to go with just over a minute, and they're going to take a shot for Ernest Jackson, who was unable to reach it. Tight coverage provided by Brandon Smith.
Brandon Smith, I think, reads this route, and he just starts running it with them. I love the patience by Ernest Jackson at the end of the route, right here, to wait, and then cut to the football underneath, and it goes right through his hands. Timing was right. The move to the football was right. He just didn't finish.
All CFL defensive half last year, one of the unsung stars and veterans in that Calgary lineup. 2nd and 10, swing pass, and
might be
careful, that might be a live football. And they're going to rule incomplete.
I heard the whistle. I think that's why they stopped. Whistle blew to kill the play.
Burris has gone cold. He started 4 for 4, 2 of his last 10.
You know, and I'll tell you, those 2 swing passes to Siobhan Walker, both he had lots of room to run. Jason Moss discussing that with Henry Burris right now. Should be a high percentage throw.
Another short punt. On a hop to Brown. And at the 45-yard line, there's 35 seconds left for Calgary. With a 3-touchdown lead, do you go for more? Play it cozy here in the final half minute or so.
You can get 3-4 plays, Chris, and I don't think you're necessarily thinking major here, but field goal range is not a stretch at all. I mean, 2 first downs or chunk play about 15 yards here. You're in field goal range.
Here comes the heat. A little fade to Fuller. Can't bring it down. And there's McDonald making his 2nd consecutive defensive play.
That's great to see. You know, I mean, it's good to see when a player, no matter which team, what level, when you bounce back. Now, is that one that Hufnagel would like to take a look at?
Yeah, you'll see how tight that coverage is and wonder about a challenge flag. McDonald telling the bench there was nothing wrong with it. And no challenge, so 2nd and 10. And a pass complete. Rogers, a little tiptoe to stay in bounds, and then gets drilled. Holton Hopkins came back to deliver the hit, but he's the one slow to get up.
Rogers puts the brakes on right at the sideline. First of all, he has to physically win the catch, because pretty good coverage by Kane. Puts the brakes on. Does he step out there?
Boy, that's some fancy footwork.
Really is, and tough to see from that angle, and we just lose the foot there as whether or not the side was on the white stripe. And what happened to Hopkins at the end of that?
Still down. Or another, it's Kane who is now getting attended to. Collateral damage there after the play and the hit by Moten Hopkins on Eric Rogers.
Well, let's take another look at the play. I was looking at Rogers' foot, see if he was out of bounds, but looked like he was in. So there's Kane. Now, does he get hit by his own guy? Yeah.
Hopkins was the slowest to get up, but then I guess Kane. And look at him just straddle the line.
Long way back for, sorry, Chris, for Moten Hopkins as well. Injured last year. Part of the expansion draft for Ottawa. Actually was picked in the first round. D-line is coming through in their second year. That expansion draft was built to give the Ottawa REDBLACKS a chance. Now in year one, they had their issues, just 2 wins, but it's starting to pay off. All those guys in their D-line, including Capicotti, who last year led the league led the team in sacks with 11. They're now contributing, and that's all from the expansion draft. And Hopkins didn't even play a whole bunch last year due to injury. Looks like he got back up and will be okay, but Capicotti, big year, 11 sacks.
Then they add the free agent piece this season, Aston Whiteside. And now Rick Campbell comes across in a cart. And interesting that you saw Kane get to his feet and then,
yeah. It looked like he was trying to shake it off there and then just went down again. Didn't feel right. I thought it would have been possibly it was a headshot from his teammate. See his neck kind of bounce. Yeah. Getting pushed back the wrong way. He tried to get up and then just, that was it. Trying to stabilize the left leg.
so Jaquez Washington likely to come in his place. .21 seconds to go. There's Washington, who was the starting safety last week. Another quick hitter by Mitchell, finds McDaniel, a straight arm for a few extra yards. In field goal range, but maybe time for one shot beforehand.
And that's what Bo Levi Mitchell right now is trying to talk Dave Dickinson and John Hufnagel into.
Timeout. Calgary.
They can call the timeout, and do they take a shot? But immediately after the catch and after McDaniel goes down, he straight arms again. It's McDonald who's been a real focal point in this first half, good and bad. Mitchell started lobbying for one shot to the end zone.
Came into the Wake Forest in passing yards and over 200 in the first half. So they've got an opportunity to take a shot for the end zone from the 23, but they've got to do it in 7 seconds or less.
Straight go route.
Can't extend the play unless they're finishing it. There they are. Touchdown, Eric Rogers. And now touchdowns in 5 consecutive games.
Oh, he lobbied right away. He wanted a shot at 7. They got the ball with 35 seconds left in the half. And I was thinking, you know, you get field goal range, you keep the pedal to the metal, and keep it on an Ottawa team that's reeling in this second quarter. They did even more than that. Straight go route from Eric Rogers. And now, in 5 consecutive games, he has a major.
And that play took just 5 seconds. Well, Dave Dickinson liked what he's seen in recent weeks from Bo Levi Mitchell, but maybe seeing his best tonight. Dominant performance. And for the first time this season, the Calgary Stampeders have scored at least 30 points, and they've got 31 in a half of football.
Let's take a look at the touchdown leaders, and there is Eric Rogers at the top of the list. Torrey Gurley, Kenny Stafford, and we're tied at 5 coming in tonight. There's number 6 for number 80. Bo knew he had to throw it quickly. He didn't want to lose the opportunity for at least a field goal. So he had one shot. He moved the safety, Brandon Thompson. And I believe it was actually Antoine Pernot on that play who rolled to the middle. He moved him with his eyes and his motion, throwing motion, and hit Rogers right down that seam.
Jeremiah Johnson is back. Brings it back to the 30, and that should be it for the opening half. All Stampeders. Bo Levi Mitchell looking sharp, and a couple of costly mistakes by the REDBLACKS, and some flags flying even as the half's ended. Here's Rod Smith.
Thank you, Chris. Consider that just 3 weeks ago, the Ottawa REDBLACKS beat the Calgary Stampeders in overtime. This rematch is more circa 2014 for both teams. Here's the panel of Milton, Matty, and Schultze. And yes, Calgary is perfect at home heading into this game at 4-0, but the margins of victory very tight, a total of 10 points, an average of less than a field goal per game. Schultze, this one a blowout so far, largely because of Ottawa mistakes and Calgary really pouncing on them.
You know, Rod, I give all credit to Calgary Stampeders. They look like a team coming off the bye week that used that bye week to their benefit. It was articulated by Chris and Glenn that it's 8-0 for John Hufnagel for his football team coming off the bye week, and they're about to go 9-0. Hey, when that bye week happens, the coaches look at the team, they understand what we do well, what we don't do well, and we figure it out. But also players individually, they look at their individual positions and they figure out what they have to improve on. Full credit to the Calgary Stampeders. They used that off time. That was magnificent. No pass protection issues. Great quarterback play, great receiver play, dominant defense. They used that bye week extremely effectively.
Also, the REDBLACKS are gift wrapping it to the Calgary Stampeders at home.
I don't know
where
about
they're
that.
dominant. Come on, 2 turnovers that led to 14 points
Calgary,
early in the football game. Ottawa said, here, particularly Brandon McDonald said, here, take this. And they do. Randy Chevrolet says, thank you very much. And he pounces on the football. And then right here, Adam Berger, he pounces on this ball and just rips it away from Brandon McDonald, who's having a nightmare. And what does Bo Levi do? Capitalizes right away. That's what good teams do. I think Calgary was sitting around the bye week getting tired of listening to everybody else talk about Edmonton's defense, how Hamilton's doing. Say, hey, don't forget about us over here. We're perfect at home, and we're a pretty good football team with a decimated offensive line, and we're still finding ways to get it done.
And what about Mo Price getting that penalty for making the flag gesture again? We've seen it before. I know you're not crazy about it.
Not at all. Not at all. And I have a problem with it. And I really have a problem when Mo Price did it. And I have that problem because he's not directing this toward the officials. He's actually looking at his coach, telling his coach, you need to challenge this penalty. So in my opinion, they have to correct this and get this together, because I do not agree with things are going. They need to have a different signal, maybe Mo Price.
Absolutely. You have to come up with something.
Different.
What would you do, though? Well, I mean, if you're in the middle of the field, what are you going to do?
I don't know. Maybe you can do the Carlton. I don't know.
Carlton? No. Carlton, I'm going maybe a little pop.
No.
Pop. And
a head bob.
All right. How about the Chris Farley? Challenge that. Challenge that flag. Challenge it.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
It is dominance for the Calgary Stampeders at the half. Might as well dance. We got the coach coming up with more. CFL on TSN. Stick around.
CFL.
The half, the score says all Calgary, Schultze. How about the numbers?
Well, it's the truth. Dominance in terms of first downs, passing yards, total yards, clean game, no turnovers. My, oh my, I'm running out of arrows. Come on, Ottawa. Only 4 yards rushing. Good game by Calgary. It is a gut check second half for the Red Blacks.
It sure is. A good half for Bo Levi Mitchell. Standing by now with Lee Jones.
Well, Bo, so much for slow starts. A pair of rushing touchdowns, a pair of passing touchdowns for you. What's been working that's been allowed you to be so successful?
Man, everybody's just clicking right now. We had our best we could practice all year, and practice is translating to the field right now. That's the most important thing.
How much do you love it when your special teams put you in great field position with a pair of fumbles?
Man, special teams putting us in great field position. Defense holding them down there, giving us even better field position on the punts. Man, we can't do it without them.
What's the message to the team, though, knowing this is the CFL?
We don't stop. We don't stop. We keep going. We keep piling points on. We keep getting better right now. That's the most important thing is we become a better football team.
Thanks for this.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Boy, Hamilton ruled the Lions at the half 31-10. A bigger blowout right now. Can Ottawa get back into this game? Down by 28 with a second half kickoff from Calgary. Coming up here in the CFL on TSN.
Biggest offensive splurge of the season for Calgary. They average over a point a minute in the first half and lead 31-3 as we head to the third quarter. But first, let's go down to the sidelines. Here's Lee Jones.
Henry, we can see the frustration in guys like Brandon McDonald. How do you keep things calm down 4 touchdowns going into the second half?
Well, you keep playing. You got to play through it. I mean, it's a situation where Calgary's found a way to make plays. I mean, you know, we had some turnovers that really hurt us, but their defense has done a great job mixing things up, finding ways to get pressure on us. And they've been playing a good game so far, but we got to get back to making plays, moving the ball down the field, and putting points on the board.
Do you need to get the rushing game going? Only 3 yards for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing we're looking at really counting on this week is getting the running game going up front, keep those guys off balance. And now, of course, with the score, it's made us one-dimensional. So we just got to find ways to chip at it and get points on the board. Hey, the game's never over in the CFL. A lot of time left here, so let's see what we can do with it real quick.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you.
The dreaded trip to Alberta. They gave up 46 points at Commonwealth against the Eskimos in a 46-17 loss. And down by 4 touchdowns here with a half remaining.
Yeah, like the game before us, Hamilton and BC. We're going to be talking quickly about how long Bo Levi Mitchell, if this continues, how long does Bo Levi Mitchell stay out there and continue to play? Especially when you consider the score and the fact that Drew Tate, it's his 100th game tonight.
Yes, the Grey Cup finalists from a year ago flexing their muscles here tonight.
Just tell me to move out the way, Colonel, man.
But Calgary still got some work to do.
Brandon McDonald bounced back from a rough first half.
Penalty at the end of the half allows the kickoff to be from midfield, and they're going to concede a single to improve the field position for Henry Burris. So that penalty by Jeremiah Johnson at the end of the half for unsportsmanlike conduct cost him another point.
You know, I found, take a look here, is Burris not, they're going to make a change. Thomas DeMarco going to the huddle to start this second half.
DeMarco in 2013 with BC, 1,325 yards, 10 touchdowns. This season, been very quiet, 0 for 2, 1 interception. Of course, he suffered a knee injury against Calgary last year, had his season cut short. Then going to try and establish a run, but nothing doing with Siobhan Walker buried again.
Junior Turner again. Called his name 3-4 times in that first half, and there he is to start the second.
And early on running plays when they were not able to establish anything on the ground.
Yeah, controlling the middle, and it puts DeMarco in a second and long right out of the gate.
Statistician Dave Moyer telling us that Walker 5 carries now for 2 yards. So second passing situation, and Jawan Simpson there. And tell you what, I think Rich Stubler spent the bye week dialing up a little more pressure packages for the defense.
Yeah, a lot of movement from the two linebackers, Juwan Simpson and Deron Mayo. And this time it's Simpson. We've seen him real close on a couple of big plays. Could have had a chance at a couple of interceptions in the first half. Nice just swim move there on Jamichael Dean, and finishes.
So a dual threat. DeMarco drops back from quarterback to punter. And this one will bounce out just beyond midfield. And the trend continues with another great field position start for Calgary, although there is a flag on the play. This one going against Ottawa, so likely Calgary to take this field position.
Oh! Illegally downfield on a kick. Ottawa number 47. A 10-yard penalty is applied from the ball where the ball went out of bounds. First down, Calgary.
So that moves it into Red Black territory at the 49.
Thomas DeMarco got that first series at quarterback, and then after the series went 2-0, he was heading to the sideline and said, okay, wait, I'm the punter.
That's right. Mitchell staying in for the time being. Matt Walter trying to get outside. And he strung out. May have got back to the line of scrimmage. We'll call it no gain. 2nd and 10.
Great to see that the coaching staff trusts Matt Walter, and why wouldn't you? I mean, every time he's got the call, even if it's just spot duty for John Cornish to give him a break when he's healthy, or if Cornish has been nicked and him to come in and play. I know they put Torrey Harrison. I thought we'd see a lot more of him. Haven't seen him at all, so they trust Matt Walter.
Second and 10, 10.5, and the pass for Fuller. Busted up. McDonald there on the scene to make the play.
Has made 3 defensive plays and knockdowns since his second fumble. And they're still going after him, testing to see if he has that mental toughness to come back from a bad first half. Old Levi Mitchell saying, let's see if 22 is going to make a play. And he did.
Javon Johnson now the return man. Maver's boot. Johnson wanted it to go into the end zone, but Rob Maver had other ideas. Another brilliant punt by Maver down at the 2.
Penalty here on John Boyd, number 31 for Ottawa. He's going to come over and put the hit on D'Aguilar. And it didn't end there. That hit was clean, but while he was trying to get up, unnecessary roughness. Now, the good news for Ottawa, it's only a 1-yard penalty. He gets the discussion on the sideline, but because of the field position created by Maver.
Longest field possible. And DeMarco trying to go deep, and not on the same page there as that ball falls incomplete, well away from the intended target, Ernest Jackson.
Well, there were 2. I mean, Ernest Jackson was one, and it looked like Maurice Price was the other. There's Ernest Jackson, and there's Price, and I'm not sure who the intended target was here, but it was over the wrong shoulder to Ernest Jackson, and then Price tried to get involved, and it was kind of outside of both of them.
2nd and 10. Here comes pressure. DeMarco hit, got it away, and incomplete. Ellingson unable to lunge for that.
Yeah, you're right about that pressure. They're dialing it up for Calgary Stampeders, and it's Juwan Simpson, but when Junior Turner's getting the push that he's getting, and there's Turner again, there's Simpson timing it up the blitz nicely. And you get Deron Mayo again off the edge. So little inside move by Junior Turner. He gets the first pressure. That old line for Ottawa is having problems with that linebacker stunt and blitz package.
7 consecutive 2-and-outs, and they'll concede the safety. It's now 34-3. Juwan Simpson's applied heat, and Junior Turner has been a force all night long. Canadian Pacific on TSN, presented by Freedom 55.
It's surprising that Henry Burris is showing no sign of injury on the sideline. Just working with Jason Moss there. Didn't give them Burris a chance to climb out of that first half.
Kickoff after the safety. Tim Brown a little hop and skip to get things going, and he crosses the 40. How long do you think we'll see this guy in the second half?
That's the question. I think when you have the big lead in a game like this, that's the question for the quarterback with the lead. When do you leave? When do you take him out of the game and put in Drew Tate? When you're behind in a lopsided game, conventional wisdom says let your veteran quarterback in Burris climb out of it. But man, is Bo Levi Mitchell hot in that first half.
227 yards, a pair of touchdowns, and hands it off. Here's Torrey Harrison with a good run off the right side on first down. Brought down by Hopkins and Zach Evans.
Versus Montreal, 5.9 yard average, had a couple of runs over 10 yards. Just to get him some more reps and some better comfort level in the offense.
Got 6, 2nd and 4. They'll feed him the football again, and this time he gets stuffed behind the line of scrimmage. Hopkins there, a little slow to get up after a tackle for a loss of 3. And 2 and out. So 6 2 and outs for the Stamps, who, when they haven't gone 2 and out, have seemed to score touchdowns. 41-yard punt, and Javon Johnson up at the 32-yard line. So better field position this time for Thomas DeMarco to see if he can find a little traction for the Ottawa offense.
Yeah, and you wonder with Rick Campbell and with Jason Moss, is this to allow Burrs to watch a couple of series from the sideline, or have they made the change and they want to see if Thomas DeMarco can provide maybe a spark and get the offense rolling a little bit? But I'm a little surprised, I have to say.
Last year, 38-17, REDBLACKS lost at McMahon. And straight ahead, decent first down production for Jeremiah Johnson.
The other thing, Chris, is that Henry Burris didn't fumble 2 punts and give Bo Levi Mitchell in his own end. And Mitchell put 2 quick scores on the board off those turnovers. That wasn't on Henry Burris. It wasn't his best half, but it wasn't his fault either.
But as durable as he is, maybe they're thinking, let's use this to give the other guys some reps and to make sure not too much damage is done to the starting guy with Toronto on the horizon next week. You don't like that idea.
I don't like that idea at all. I'm worried about the message that, with a half of football to go, that you're basically conceding that you're just going to get your backup some reps. We've seen that no lead is safe in the CFL, and this is an enormous mountain, but I don't like that message.
DeMarco with the boot. This is a better kick inside the 25. 49-yard punt, but Brown's got something on the return. Tipped along the sidelines, and now, with flags down, he's going to run away from the REDBLACKS punt. Looks like it's coming back.
It was real late. The flag came out well after Brown was down the field.
A nifty run, but
during the run back, illegal block, Calgary, 10-yard penalty, first down Calgary.
Didn't get a number, but all for naught for the exciting Tim Brown.
Didn't get a number on the penalty, but there were two that were real close. Adam Tebow on the sideline, he's going to get a push from behind, and William Langley inside. That one, the Langley block was a close one. I'd say that'd be marginal, but Tebow right there did see the name tag.
So Calgary goes back to work at the 30. Mitchell still in the game, and Harrison out of the backfield. Tracked down by Damaso Munoz, but it's a first down for the Stampeders.
Yeah, I would say if Bo Levi Mitchell comes away with points here, that may be his night.
Stampeders looking for their 5th consecutive home win, and Dave Dickinson has to like what he's seen here tonight. You give that coaching staff an extra week to get ready. Wow, scary stuff.
Yeah.
And an end around here for Anthony Parker, trying to get outside against Pruneau, who says no and tosses him out.
Good recovery there from Antoine Pruneau. Looked like Anthony Parker had made a nice move and got the outside leverage and outside edge there, and Pruneau just recovered and hustled. That's just pure hustle.
Make-up speed for Pruneau and limits the damage to 3. Pass in the flat, and Harrison breaks a tackle and has a first down. Did a little tightrope back. Well, let's see where they're going to mark him. They will mark him out. Did not stay in bounds, and the punt team will have to come on.
Tough in games like this, too, to just keep that edge, that level of intensity, and John Hufnagel knows that. I mean, one way you can do it is make a change at quarterback, because the backup wants to come out and take full advantage of the reps, and that's what Torrey Harrison's trying to do.
Lets it fly. And another issue. And did Javon Johnson lose it? Yes, he did. Joe Burnett's got it. 3rd time tonight. They'll be looking for a punt returner in Ottawa after this nightmare's night in Calgary. Our sack tally brought to you by Purolator. Tackling hunger, a promise we can all help deliver, and the Tackle Hunger Drive here in Calgary tonight.
4-1 for Calgary in that department tonight. Bo Levi Mitchell getting involved. I don't always tackle, but when I do, it's hunger. Most interesting man here in Calgary right now.
He's been the most dynamic man in Calgary. The fans helping support a terrific cause. Over 68,000 pounds donated prior to this game tonight. There's the check for the Calgary Food Bank. 68,000 plus pounds of food. What a great program it is. Well, another opportunity for Calgary to score points off turnover, and it's Matt Walter, touchdown. Six-yard run. Points off turnovers, killing the Red Blacks tonight.
Yeah, the fumbles, and Javon Johnson pointing at himself, saying, put that 7 in my category because I dropped the football, and he hasn't stopped limping since the drop. Matt Walters getting a chance to just pound it in there on the inside trap run play, and he just crashes over that goal line, and that may be it for Mitchell.
First touchdown of the year for Walter. So the Stamps, who hadn't hit 30 in a game this season, now have 41. 2
2
And 21 of them have come on Ottawa turnovers tonight.
Brandon McDonald had 2 in the first half that turned into 14 points, actually 15 because it was a 2-point convert on the first fumble and touchdown after. Then Javon Johnson, he goes back. They take Brandon McDonald off the kick returns, and he puts one on the ground. That turns into a touchdown. Nice block here by Shane Bergman, who's just going to step up and go to the point of attack so that Walters can get in behind that block. Now, there is a little penetration, but Shane Bergman takes enough of his man, holds him off, so that Matt Walter can go right by him.
Good night for that rebuilt Calgary offensive line that has been ravaged by injuries. Long night for a couple of veterans, Brandon McDonald and now Javon Johnson. Jeremiah Johnson, the return to the 28-yard line. Let's check back in with Lee Jones.
And that will be the end of Bo Levi Mitchell's night. He got the thumbs up from Dave Dickinson as soon as he came off. And Dave Dickinson went to both John Hufnagel, Drew Tate, telling him that he is in for the rest of the game. Tate now warming up on the sidelines with Rob Maver.
And as we mentioned, it's a milestone night for Tate, his 100th Canadian Football League game. Jeez, DeMarco drops it, tipped, nearly intercepted. Wow. Nothing going right. Deron Mayo, an old teammate and a good friend of Thomas DeMarco from Old Dominion days, nearly ended up with that ball in his hands.
One of those nights, but I agree with Matt Dunnigan when he said at halftime tonight that the Calgary Stampeders were sitting around in the bye week saying, everyone's talking about Edmonton and Hamilton. What about the defending champs here?
DeMarco throws, and it's incomplete. Haven't seen them tested against West Division opposition. This is their 6th game in 7 against the East. They'll be in Saskatchewan next week. Thomas DeMarco, by the way, 0 for 5 now in relief of Burris. DeMarco getting set to punt again to Tim Brown. The short punt. Brown this time has an adventure. Looks like no yards on the play. Buddy Jackson backs up his teammate Tim Brown. We'll share your best game day pictures and videos on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook using the hashtag MarksFanCam, and you could be featured on the CFL on TSN. No yards penalty. Now, often you see in a game an extended drive, an 11-12 play touchdown drive tonight. Calgary's 5 touchdown drives have been accomplished in 12 plays. 2-play drive, 4 plays, 1 play, 4 plays, 1 play.
Off turnovers.
And the field position has been like this to start almost all night long. Walter back in, and he gets drilled. Big hit supplied by Zach Evans, former member of the Regina Thunder.
Well, games like this, great opportunity for coaches to get that backup quarterback. In Drew Tate's case, he's a veteran, 9 years, Calgary. You mentioned his 100th game.
Hey, tell him you don't want the camera.
I don't want the camera. Hey, put it on the old line, man.
Levi Mitchell's night.
Y'all all been talking shit about him. Go put it on the old line. That's what I'm talking about.
Want to get the old lineman some love. There's Tate in trouble, and he gets brought down. Looked like that was one of the newcomers. Little John, just acquired in the last couple of weeks out of North Dakota State. So another issue on that offensive line for Calgary that's been beaten up with so many injuries.
Guy looking on more than anybody right now is Bo Levi Mitchell, who's just told us put the camera on the O-line because they're really coming together, and that's a rebuilt offensive line.
So Pierre Lavertu, number 1 pick, 2014, up onto his feet. Edwin Harrison, Dan Federkyle down. Brander Craighead injured, been one after another.
Brad Erdos is going to go out and move to center, it looks like, as he works on the sideline on the shotgun snaps.
I think he's a contender for the John Gott lookalike contest. So he gets ready to come back in the next time. The long snapper is Randy Chevrier, who's made a play tonight. Maber again kicking for the corner, and Maber bounces that one down, and look at that!
When you're on a roll, when the team's rolling, it's rolling.
Wow, he's got the lob wedge going tonight. That's unbelievable.
That's been a difference tonight, and whether it be returners for Ottawa dropping the Maber punts or Maber putting it right out of bounds inside the 5-yard line. Done it a couple of times tonight, 7 times inside the 10 coming into this game tonight. So
1 out at the 2, and now even better here. And Thomas DeMarco looking at another long field, still trying to record his first completion of the season. From the end zone. Gonna air this one out, and intended for Ellingson, incomplete. Joe Burnett on that corner with the breakup.
That's an interesting story in and of itself. Joe Burnett winning the job from Buddy Jackson. Jackson got hurt in the Ottawa game and continued to stay on the field, and then got beat a couple times, had a bit of a rough second half.
Especially the big play by Chris Williams.
We should, and we haven't mentioned that as well for Ottawa. Chris Williams had to line up again tonight, but Joe Burnett won the job.
2nd and 10. Underneath it goes. Ellingson the catch. And can't get through the traffic. He'll be stopped short of a first down. Charleston Hughes the tackle, and it's 10 consecutive 2-and-outs for this Calgary defense.
Thomas DeMarco stayed out there to kick again this time, but to the sideline to see if he's going to kick it out of his own end zone to a guy who just had one for a touchdown called back. Or does he give up?
The Browns waiting on Ottawa's side of midfield. They're going to let him kick away. And he gets away a good one. Backs Brown up to his own 50, but now back into red black territory. And down around the 46-yard line, a 52-yard punt. But boy, Calgary field position has been quite a story. And Brad Erdos comes out to play center on this next series. Paul Swiston will move to right guard. Swiston getting action in his 3rd game. One man short, or are they? Lamar Durant came onto the field and then went back off.
Yeah.
Are they a man short?
Time out.
Yes, they were.
Yeah, they were. And
the rookie got caught on the sideline.
Yes, he did, and the arms went up, and that means he couldn't go on, so they had to call a timeout. At 41-3, I'm sure they're not too concerned about losing their timeout, but it'd be nice to see Lamar Durant in the offense.
Number 18 pick in the draft. out of Coquitlam. One catch on the year. Tate the handoff to Matt Walter. Ducked under the first tackle and gets close to 10. Good run behind a rebuilt offensive line that John Hufnagel has had to keep changing this season.
The offensive line is the hardest position to lose that many guys. I mean, you know, we have 3 broken legs and a concussion, so those are 4 guys that we had counted on. Well, they're not in the lineup right now. So, you know, the 5 guys and the 6 guys we take to the game right now, you know, they're sluggers, they're battling, but, you know, they need the correct communication and the correct first step as a unit to know, you know, exactly what's going to happen on that play, and we're getting better at it.
Boy, it has been rebuilt because of injuries. Even Carl Lavoie, who came in and to replace one of the injured players, got hurt.
Gary Williams, yeah, he also had the hyperextended elbow.
Gary Williams came out, and there's Levertu on the sidelines with ice on the right knee. Matt Walter, a first down run, and taken off. Another good first down run for Matt Walter, trying to make the most of his opportunity. 14 for number 14 on the final play of the 3rd quarter. Head to the 4th with the Stampeders clearly in charge. Sometimes the stats don't lie.
No, not tonight. And, you know, I mean, the turnovers jump out. 21 points off the turnovers for the Ottawa REDBLACKS. The other side of it is, you know, they've had trouble in the return game. They came into this game and into this week 3rd in the league creating turnovers on defense themselves. 16 in total. They haven't had one tonight.
No, 21 points off turnovers for Calgary. This isn't indicative of the kind of improvement we've seen from them this year, but it is back to the drawing board after something like this.
Yeah, and you got to go back to work. Again, the one decision to not allow Henry Burris to try and dig the team out of the hole in the first half, I'm sure will be talked about this week in Ottawa, as Rick Campbell wanted to see Thomas DeMarco, who has really struggled.
What a night for Hamilton, what a night for Calgary. Unfortunately, they weren't playing each other tonight. That pass incomplete, intended for the youngster Durant. Back in the red zone, they're 4 for 5 on the night.
We're 2,400 yards at SFU and 26 touchdowns for Lamar Durant, which is why everyone was so surprised he went into the 2nd round in the draft. 3 receivers ahead of him.
He was a guy some people thought would be top 10, and he just kept dropping. Tate in trouble and wrestled down. So a sack for the REDBLACKS. And that is Marlon Smith with his 3rd of the year.
The Stampeders haven't noticed, I don't think, that Javon Johnson is barely mobile back there. He's trying to get it done, but he's just limping around out at that corner. Now he's got to line up in case this field goal's missed. But he has been laboring, and I don't think Drew Tate noticed, because if he did, I would go right over it. Challenge him.
So Paredes from 34 yards out. And he adds to the lead. 44-3 Stampeders. Horse racing continues on TSN tomorrow. The Breeders' Stakes final race of the Canadian Triple Crown will be live 4:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific on TSN 1.
I got quick 6. Put some money on quick 6. Karen Drake. Last time in Calgary, got a chance to jump up on quick 6 and take a little ride. And it was a lot slower and not very far than when Karen is in control.
Quick 6 has covered some territory tonight, though. More than a few quick sixes.
Well, you know, a couple things too, and the other side is the defensive side of the ball for Calgary tonight, who you talked about it earlier, Chris. They dialed up some real nice blitz packages from Juwan Simpson, Deron Mayo. They get Micah Johnson back in the middle. He's been in that rotation. Junior Turner may have had his best game of the year tonight, the interior of that D-line.
2nd and 6. DeMarco looking for a connection, and this one picked off. Fred Bennett's got the interception, dragged down by Mo Price. But Bennett, Western All-Star last year, has his first interception of 2015. Fred Bennett with the 4th takeaway by the Stampeders tonight.
Hot throw and a high throw from Thomas DeMarco to Scott McDonnell. He can't handle it. Into the hands of Fred Bennett. Another turnover.
5th time in 7 possessions in the second half that Calgary has started on the Ottawa side of half. Quick hitter, Tate Cote the catch. And ball dropped, picked up by Munoz. And didn't hear a whistle. They are still playing. A delayed reaction, and Munoz gets it back for Ottawa and down into Calgary territory.
I didn't hear a whistle, but about half of the Stampeder offensively kind of stopped. They thought he was down, and Drew Tate signaling right now that he was down by contact.
Munoz shaken up at the end of the play. Let's have a look if Cote was down. Looks like he was down. Ball popped out. When he hit the ground, it would appear.
Well, half the REDBLACKS stopped as well. This angle should show you whether or not the ball came out before. No, that was the ground.
Rolling on the field. The ball carrier was up.
No whistle.
Ruling on the field by the player was down with contact. He gained first down Calgary.
Oh, we listened for a whistle, didn't hear one, but
no whistle, but he was down by contact.
And
yeah.
Clearly that was the case.
Left.
So it's a Stamp first down at the Ottawa 29. 3 receivers to the near side. Looking that way for Fuller. And it's knocked down. Boyette got a piece of it. Incomplete. Antoine Pruneau also there in coverage for the REDBLACKS.
And Boyette and Pruneau had a better shot at the ball, but it's been that kind of night for Ottawa. Fuller's going to run the corner, and the REDBLACKS have him outnumbered, and they fight over it, and both drop it. It's been that kind of night.
Yikes. 2nd and 10. Tate complete. McDaniel the catch. Hauled down by Jarrell Gavins. That should be another Calgary first down.
Calgary will take on Saskatchewan next, and then Winnipeg. Both games on the road. But John Hufnagel, the guys talked about it again at halftime. 8-0 after bye weeks.
Here's Harrison. Doubles back. And nothing doing this time. McDonald shuts the door on the near side.
His overall record will improve in Hufnagel to 93 wins. And since he arrived, the team has not lost back-to-back games. So they win on short weeks. They win after bye weeks. They win after a loss. Yeah, they just win.
as he says, just win the game. Tate in trouble, ducked down, but brought down. Zach Evans will chalk up a 4th sack on the season.
That's interesting, though. You're right. I mean, after every pregame, speech, every pregame speech that Hufnagel makes, he ends it with "Go win the game." I mean, I guess if you don't ask.
But they always find a way, or usually do.
Well, 15
this way's
times.
been a lot easier than most.
15 times last year, and the Grey Cup championship.
Flag comes down as Paredes puts it through. But on a night where everybody was wowed again by what they saw from Hamilton, the champs making their own statement.
Procedure, Calgary number 68. He did not report. This is a 5-yard penalty. We'll replay 3rd down.
Well, I did a radio interview on TSN Radio Vancouver before that Lions game tonight, and I was asked quickly, the last question was, who's the best team in the West right now, in your opinion? And I kind of rushed to my answer. I think I said Edmonton. I said, the way they're playing defensively.
They must have been playing that interview in the Calgary dressing
They
room.
may have played it. I want to take my vote back.
That, by the way, was Quinn Smith doing double duty. He wears 90 on defense, 68 when he helps out along the offensive line, and he made Paredes work a little extra hard for that field goal. Now up to 47-3. Stamps.
Two things, okay? Number one is protect the football. Defense, get the football out. You might get a little wet later on. Make sure we protect the ball. You know some of the receivers are sloppy with their ball handling. 2nd, 3rd guy in. Get to sweat. Get to sweat. Go after the rest. Play hard. Play physical. Play your best game to date. Win the game. Let's go. Let's go.
Play best game to date. Check.
Yeah.
Win the game. Check.
Create turnovers. Check.
Danny O'Brien, 3rd quarterback, in for Ottawa, looking for an elusive 1st down. Siobhan Walker hasn't been able to put a dent in that Calgary defense tonight.
Yeah, I think you're right, Chris. I mean, this is the first game that I've been able to cover the Ottawa REDBLACKS this season, and clearly this is not the team that started the year 4-2. It snowballed on them in a hurry and got away from them on the road.
2nd and 5. And this should be a 1st down. It will be. Siobhan Walker moves it out across the 50 and ends a streak of 11 consecutive 2-and-outs.
Well, there's a couple things that I noticed. One out of the gate is, and this is not just because Brandon McDonald fumbled a couple tonight and Javon Johnson fumbled one. It's to have a returner that's not a starter on defense. That's all he does.
2nd-year man out of Gautama. O'Brien on the run, and he'll step out untouched. Around the 51, which is the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd and 10.
That could be something that I think Rick Campbell will probably be looking to try and do. I mean, when you're playing every snap on defense like Brandon McDonald does, Javon Johnson does, you don't have that Tim Brown kind of guy, or Brandon Banks in Hamilton, who had another one tonight and is a receiver but not a starting receiver.
And Chris Williams is a guy that can do double duty and be extremely dangerous, but they had Jock Sanders and that didn't work out. So Marcel Desjardins may be shopping once again. There's the former Stamp, Mo Price. Another quiet night for Price. 1st catch at the challenge, no yards call, or excuse me, pass interference call that didn't work for Ottawa in the 1st half.
No catches over 30 yards for Mo Price. Now after 7 games, unless he gets one here in the dying minutes, that's a surprise.
3rd and at loose, 2.5. Trying to keep the offense on the field. O'Brien throwing, and let's see if Walker can break a tackle. He can't. Tossed out by Joe Burnett, and another turnover this time. A turnover on downs. It's now 5 turnovers for Ottawa in the game. They were +3 in that department. They're now -2. Stamp set to even the week tally, East versus West. Here's Harrison on the run, back across midfield. And the decision desk boldly proclaiming a Calgary win, which will mean the East has won 12, the West 8 matchups so far this season. Edmonton and Calgary winning this week for the West.
You know, you can't even in this game, though, Chris, when you're talking Ottawa, really put it on their offense or their defense. I mean, obviously, in this second half, the offense is bogged right down. But when you give field position away like they did, 1-2 play drives for touchdowns.
Coming back for the football was Rogers, gets tossed down by Brandon Thompson.
Tough to evaluate those, the O and the D.
Yeah, we may be splitting hairs here, but if you're assessing the 3 phases, maybe the defense scores slightly higher than an offense that just hasn't done anything against Calgary, and a special teams that was a nightmare tonight.
That's the other thing I was going to mention, and we'll get back to it, but Maurice Price, they got to figure out a way to get him involved.
Harrison, a little stutter step, and nothing doing. But this defense looks like it's still competing.
No question. And you know, when you have to come on the field after you've just won the series and then a fumble on the ensuing punt and have to go back on the field, it gets to be a long night defensively. But Nick Nolte's group is improved from last year, and last year they were pretty good.
2nd and 10, and Tate gets hit hard.
I can do that with Mark Nelson because we go back.
Keith Sholigan gets to the quarterback. Well, I'm going to need an abacus to figure it out at the end of the game, but Calgary's field position starts tonight probably going to average around midfield. And actually, Sholigan with the sack, but it looked like Paul Swiston got the toughest licking on Drew Tate, his teammate. He does look like Nick.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Line drive, and this time he missed. What's wrong with Maver? Didn't get the corner that time. And he'll settle for a point. What a spectacular night for him on that 3rd phase of the game for the Stampeders.
A good conversation with Henry Burris before the game about Mo Price returning to Calgary, and you know, he's targeted coming into this game 38 times, only had 18 catches, and Burris said, you know, early on I might have been trying to force it a little bit to him and not just go to my progressions like this offense, which is basically a Mark Trestman type of offense. Scott Milanovic.
Direct snap, Jeremiah Johnson, right side, and Carl McCartney closes him down.
Jason Maas taking a lot of those ideas and concepts, and that's this offense in Ottawa. And first of all, Burris absolutely loves it. And when I asked him the difference between this year and last, that's the first guy he named was Jason Maas. So they're in good hands. And he said, what about Mo Price? He said, we're working on it. After practice, he and Mo Price are working every day to try and get on the same page.
O'Brien to the sidelines, Ellingson there, and it's another Ottawa first down. So O'Brien generated a couple here since coming in the 4th quarter.
But Mo Price, 12 touchdowns and 26 starts as a Calgary Stampeder. I believe he led their team his last time here with yards per catch. looking for his first TD as a Red Black, and not one catch over 30 yards.
Yeah, nothing but big plays before. But not here, and now Freddie Bishop getting attention.
Start to the year for Bishop as well. 3 sacks coming into this game tonight. Between he and the two bookends, Charleston Hughes and Freddie Bishop, 9 of their 11.
Looks like he'll be okay. Yeah, I don't think Rich Stubler took the bye week off.
No. He was ready. Great blitz package from Simpson and Mayo.
First and 10. And O'Ryan on the wide side. There's Maurice Price, but Fred Bennett not letting him get loose. So we've hit the 3-minute warning here at McMahon, Calgary, romping away.
This team has great leadership, and it starts on defense with a pondering Juwan Simpson.
The thinker.
Back home from Alabama, and they have a tradition. The captains, before every game, they pick who's going to be the flag bearer to start things out and bring them out here in Calgary. And the captains are Maver, Bo Levi, Mitchell, Randy Chevrier, and Juwan Simpson. The 3 captains voted for Juwan to bring out the flag tonight. Got that defense started.
Here's O'Brien screening it to Johnson with a move, and Jeremiah Johnson has a first down and ridden out at the Calgary bench. The one guy that can forget about what the score is right now is Danny O'Brien. Valuable time for him to try and make an impression, and he's done that. 6 for 6.
And Juwan Simpson on the sideline goes, I'll get credit for that tackle. I got 3 tackles on the night and a sack. Yeah, no, you're right, though. These are important reps for Danny O'Brien.
Look out. Overthrows that. Was looking for Ellingson in a danger zone with Joe Burnett poaching, and there's his first incompletion.
It's not the same type of reps that Thomas DeMarco got, and you see Juwan Simpson with his helmet off, having some fun on the sideline. Of course, the middle linebackers out. They're playing some backups, not near the same level of intensity, but still valuable reps.
Second and 10. A little heat, so he drops it off. Johnson makes the first man miss. Trying to get outside, and he'll get ridden out by Brandon Smith.
But again, this is, the small things that I've noticed in the first game covering Ottawa. The return guy, that was one. Mo Price getting more involved, and the third would be the run game. And when you look at the 2 running back coming in, Jeremiah Johnson and Siobhan Walker, Walker with a 3.9-yard average, Johnson a 2.4. I mean, you got 9 carries for 20 yards tonight. I mean, they've got to find a way to get some balance in the offense.
The run game ranked 8th coming into this game. Here's O'Brien throwing on 3rd down. It's complete, but will be short of the first down. Well, let's find out. They might give him forward progress. Ernest Jackson does get a first down, so the offense will stay on the field.
Offense was rolling the last couple of games, though, for Ottawa. Against Calgary, we mentioned Burris with a big game throwing, and 2 weeks ago in Montreal, over 800 net yards in the last 2. Not tonight.
And still in for Alberta. There's Quinn Smith, now wearing 68 with a tackle. By the way, thanks to Steve Daniel, the league statistician who has the abacus working and tells me that Calgary's average start tonight was the Ottawa 53. I don't remember the last game where that happened. A team started on average on the other team's side of half. Quick hitter, and there's Scott McDonnell with the catch.
Ottawa will take on Toronto. They have to go on the road to Toronto, and then we'll play Saskatchewan in Ottawa.
Hamilton 5-2, Toronto 5-2. Calgary will move to 5-2. And the Edmonton Eskimos were winners and are 5-2. So Milo to attempt a 36-yarder. And that kind of night.
Yep. Wow.
The Nissan Titan Player of the Game is brought to you by Nissan, official vehicle of the Canadian Football League.
Look great tonight. Started off capitalizing on the first fumble by the Ottawa REDBLACKS. Great field position. Ball placement outstanding. That was with 35 seconds. He got the ball back just before the end of the first half. Take a look at the last 3 games for Bo Levi Mitchell.
Hey,
I'm talking some serious numbers.
Damn, I wish we really got 50 though.
Almost 900 yards, 5 touchdowns, and not 1 interception. Bo is back, baby.
And about 2.5 quarters of work tonight in those numbers. Yeah, he's right back in the form that we saw at the end of last year. He hit the knockout punch early tonight. Brian Moniz will finish up here. Saw him in a short yardage, but we've seen all 6 quarterbacks on the rosters take snaps here tonight. And that knockdown, look out, that was almost going the other way for Capicotti. The decision desk ruling this one over, and there's that tie for first in the West.
Lions didn't fare well tonight in Hamilton. Very similar score to the one here in Calgary, so they sit at 3 wins. Winnipeg at 3 wins.
And again, the Stamps have played 6 of their 7 against the East, so they're going to get into the real meat of their Western schedule, starting with the Rough Riders next week.
If you're the Rough Riders right now, you're looking at BC and Winnipeg and saying, you're saying there's a chance.
That's what you got to say.
You got to. You got to. This one got away on Rick Campbell, but you take a look at the start for the Ottawa REDBLACKS. They'll bounce back and regroup from this. 4 wins. They had just the 2 last year. He doubled that total, and they're right in the hunt for first in the division. Now, those are 2 very good teams in front of them.
We've been able to avoid this kind of game for the most part this year. Games have been going down to the wire, but not on this doubleheader Saturday night.
Traffic won't be a problem.
On this doubleheader Saturday night.
Traffic won't be a problem.
Grey Cup finalists flexing their muscles, first in Hamilton and now in Calgary. This one in the books. And John Hufnagel now 9-0, coming off a bye as the head coach of the Calgary Stampeders. This one almost never in doubt. It was a stampede. Calgary wins its 5th consecutive game at home, and they win it in convincing fashion. 48-3 the final. So long from McMahon.